Alright. Probably should do this. Into wave number 1. Prio clear already from Celtic Banshees, trying to get poke started. Bacchus flops in. Getting poked out a little bit. Both teams jockeying for poke, prepping for this purple buff. I'm not at all surprised. We've seen this from Celtic Banshees several sets in a row now as far as going this bruiser almost full damage assassin mage. And a double blink at that, looking for this engage. Wonder how this Baron's gonna hold up when it comes time. Ravana got a nice little sidestep here. Heavenly is forced out because of it. Nice little round. Ravana goes for the blink. Forces the Baron out. As the E-Shell full clears wave with combo. Almost certainly secures purple buff here for the Celtic Banshees. I would like to see them drag that back. We're going to be looking for that 3. Instead, force to jump away. Purple buff going to the Banshees and hitting level 5. This E-Shell chunks through this Baron. Like I said, him being the target, that E-Shell lasts for 6 seconds is absolutely absurd. Blowing through this Baron Cthulhu. A neutral buff, i.e. purple, and a double pick, now red. This is a perfect start for Celtic Banshees to get underway in this game number 1. E-Shell securing minis. Take a look at leveling orders here. There's nothing really out of the ordinary. We discussed it a couple times as far as the E-Shell. Looking for that burst off the 1. Obviously getting a double 1 when you hit an enemy. Electing to level that over the 2. Fair amount of damage. I'm keeping an eye on how he's actually going to elect to build. I wonder if he's going to be going this bobble build. Is he going to be going to tank shred? Bacchus gets pulled in. E-Shell healing, just keeping him alive. Unfortunately, just not enough. Team Haerin able to find a little blood back. Do they have the damage to kill this Ravana? Ravana has ult, able to ult over the wall. Does the 2 hit? It doesn't. Ravana safely able to get out. Johnson on the ground, no neutral buff. Looks like a possible divine here for Paul in this E-Shell. Luder's trying to do his best to get some poke off, especially on this Bacchus, make him feel uncomfortable. They're pulling red. No ults are up at the moment. E-Shells just came up and immediately used at time coming up. And more than enough damage as the Bacchus stands between the E-Shell and the Baron. able to pick this Baron. I talked about that in P's and B's. The composition is going to lend itself. You have a double root. They have plenty of dive to catch this Baron out of position, and he's getting punished consistently for that positioning. Wapu. Wapo. Wapu. It's Wapo, right? I always think of Po like Kung Fu Panda. I don't know why I'm doing that, but it's alright. Welcome, welcome. So both neutral buffs and yet another pick. Celtic Banshees are starting to build up a pretty large lead for themselves 5 minutes into this game. Because Baron Cthulhu have to really conscious they don't have the prots online to really fight back at this current moment. Finding their ability in moments, or windows if you will, of opportunity versus just staggering their positioning one at a time. We are in week 4. It's a league, to be clear. I know some people call it a tournament. It's not. It was a draft league. We're in week 4. We got 2 more weeks of league play to play out before we go into the tournaments for the lower division and then the upper division. So, 3 more weeks. Just over halfway. We should have 2 guaranteed, if not 3 sets tonight to watch. This is the very first game of the very first set. This damage from this E-Shell. It's kind of absurd. She's doubling everybody else what they're actually doing at this current moment. No. It's actually the second split. Last year we ran our first split at the end of the year. I ran tournaments in that league for just over $10,000 for the full year, and I'm hoping to look to double that this year, depending on how everything goes, and we get enough support to do so. So this will be the second round of the draft Joust League. Red easily pulled and uncontested. I'm worried about Team Haerin. They might not get the opportunity to get this Uller online. This poke / base damage from this E-Shell, who's already got a decent lead built up, is looking scary. I'm not surprised given it's Paul. Paul already built up a nice little lead for himself. They're kind of... Celtic Banshees looking for as much poke to push Team Haerin back to immediately secure purple and do it with ease. While Uller secures the blue buff for his team. I appreciate that, Wapo. I'm working on it, bro. It's a lot harder than I would have ever given it credit. Who would have known giving money and trying to grow a community is made hard by the people in it. Alright, he's actually going this. This is a 40% cooldown. I wonder if he's going to drop Bobble here and look for either Percent Pen or Soul Reaver. I'm curious to see how he finishes out this build with the Seashell. I have done the Seashell build as far as 50% cooldown. The one on the cooldown for 50% is only 2 seconds. I am nervous to see that in Paul's hands if he actually elects to build it. Baron taking a big fight. Immediately alt use. So Baron alt for the Ravana. Looks like Ravana used the back head kick to immune it. Doesn't even have to drop beads or alt. meta hasn't changed a ton. Maybe characterization as far as some quality of life changes. Right now, good games, probably 20 minutes. 25, 30 max. Definitely not like the Hoi map going to 40 to 50 like a Conquest game. It's in a better state on this map than it was on previous. No neutral buffs are up. Obviously red, purple. Easily secure. This E-Shell is level 14, a level and a half above anyone else with a 1600 gold lead to their name. There's the 40% CDR. 10, 10, 20. It'll hold a special place. I love the design on that map, but unfortunately because of the choke points and how it was designed for high competitive Joust, it is way too elongated and takes way too long to get those people out of that map because it's so easy to turtle. This Ishal is so confident stepping up here into 2 tanks and not really getting punished for that positioning at all. Purple up, Ravana trying to secure that. Blue's gonna be up. I wonder how they're gonna position here. They look like the call's been made for Bull. They want this fight. This Uller doesn't have relics, which I guarantee is a big portion of this call. They want to pull Bull to burst it and force this Uller to take a fight outside. Instead, this Uller decides to split push this E-Shell stepping up. They know they have to get to him to make sure he doesn't clear that tower. It's one of those experience moments. They have to clear that wave. First force clear wave, then push for Bull. So that Uller can immediately split push under tower. E-Shell's going to be back in. I'm curious to see what this item is here. Okay, so Lexico Divine. I mean, maybe it actually might be Deso, or excuse me, Opshard, and then goes Bobble last. There's still opportunity for it. I'm curious to see. It might be just an Opshard Soul Reaver, but how he actually elects, if he elects to pick up Bobble. Bull area being pinged out. I'm assuming as the Cthulhu stepping into ward. The negatives off Bobble got taken off. So there is no downside to it. It's just an item slot that you can max to 50% CDR. You're seeing I ran or kind of memed a ton. But the Uller immediately punished for jumping this E-Shell alt with his Bacchus. That's a big call out by Celtic Banshees, putting this Bacchus in front of this E-Shell at all times, giving the maximum damage restoration for this E-Shell to really punish this Uller. Are they able to find that damage now on the Baron? Bacchus a little too poked out. 20 seconds on the Uller. A blue buff invade underway. Baron has to be careful. Do they have the damage? Is E-Shell getting trapped under? Forced to Aegis and Beads. Both relics. Good snake / root by the Baron into Cthulhu damage with the tower. Almost able to pick up a pivotal kill on this E-Shell. It looks like it will be this Opshard. Looking for that percent pen into all the magical D that is on the Team Haerin roster. Ruler doing his very best to get to itemization to return some of this damage back. Unfortunately, I'm concerned he might not get that opportunity. Purple just spawning. Celtic Banshees are able to secure purple. Bacchus flops in, catches the Baron. Not much turned otherwise. E-Shell backing, looking for finish Opshard and finds it. Ravana has to be a little careful. Forced to ult away. Still dragged back in against the wall. Do they have the damage to find this pick? Uller has to find that axe. Baron looks for the blink. Do they have the base damage to finish the kill? They do, and a pivotal one at that. We have a small window. E-Shell doesn't have relics. Has ult, however, so you have to be careful. Minions are in. The damage is there to find it on the Baron, but can they find the return? They find the pick. Oh, so pivotal on this E-Shell and a T1 to their name. Team Haerin shining through with a little bit of life. Does Bacchus have the damage? He does not have ult. Red was secured by Team Haerin. Bacchus just needs to stop these backs. Fortunately, unable to do so. On the Uller, E-Shell still down for about 15 more seconds. Baron just spawning in. Yeah, the Ravana getting caught by purple was a little rough. Obviously, ulting over the wall and getting pulled back by the Baron ult. It's crazy, this one big fight here. T1, E-Shell, Ra, both getting picked. Nullifying most of the work that the Banshees did early on. Now they have to just show what they're capable of doing going into this late game. Uller pathing over to Bull. E-Shell trying to do her very best to farm up for level 20. I'm curious to see how close she is to it, about halfway. Bull already at a quarter HP. It should be a secure and a back off. You gotta be careful. This E-Shell is still farming, like I had mentioned. Should only be a wave and a half more. This level 20 to take over. This is one of those moments we start talking about. Let's see how close he is. He needs one more wave, so he's going to path up. Full clear this here. And back for starter. There it is. If he can get this back off, it's going to be a pivotal one for a bird defense. He is walking it back. That should be the starter. There it is. Starter in a 500 pot for this E-Shell. This is their moment. This is their defense. Can Team Haerin find a pick, if not find the bird, looking for now to take the lead? Ravana 1v1ing all. The Baron all gets immediately stopped. You got to be super careful because the E-Shell's going to ult straight through you now. And a big pick. That 500 pot starter is chunked through the Baron. I would like to see that Baron all delayed just a little bit, swinging it back and forth versus immediately pulling the stun onto that Bacchus. Uller gets caught here. Should be GG. Beads are immediately forced. The damage for the two. Unfortunate. Pathing is so rough. Two members down 20 seconds before the Baron even comes back up. So minions here for Celtic Banshees to easily secure T1 if they're able to pick this Cthulhu. It might have been game. Should be T1. Baron just spawning in now. It should also result in a bird. You have a brute minion here. There's the bird. Now, do they immediately look for this fight? Thorns are used. They're looking for a pick onto this Bacchus. I'm concerned. Utilize too much considering the survivability of that character. You shall immediately picking red. I am super curious to see what we elect to go last slot. I'm assuming it's Soul Reaver or Bobble. I'm wondering. I'm a Soul Reaver. Okay. I'm not surprised back going into a Cthulhu, especially. It's 20% pen. He's got 20% pen, and you're 15 flat. I would tell you it would feel like it is, especially with how much burst or shred you're going to have in your ult, right? But also mainly because you're building a little bit of damage on these tanks, so they're not full tank. So it's just not pure beef that you got to go through. The Baron was more damage versus... If the Baron was more damage versus Bruiser / tank, I would have gone Abominable just for the continued cast, but there's really no need. You are full build already for this E-Shell. I want to see them push here. Get some Titan damage, if not reclaps backwards for a Bull. I'm curious how they elect to play it. Looks like they're the ones stepping in, trying to look for some big poke, and the damage they're doing to Cthulhu. Immediately forced to ult. The Ravana ults in. I'm a little concerned by that. A little bit of miscommunication. The 2 ults for 2 ults. Cthulhu's getting actually chunked by this E-Shell damage. Bacchus has Bracer. You kind of need to back off of your Celtic Banshees. Grab your red, grab your purple, and look for a bull. As bird spawning, you should be your last fire wave here. Would have liked to see them drop off a little sooner, reclapse the bull, while you had some fire wave pressure. Unfortunately, now that bird is spawned. Team Haerin have a little bit better of a defense for themselves to step up and defend this. Bacchus still has Bracer in hand and a 500 pot for this U-Shell. Instead, Celtic Banshees are hovering. Like they're just waiting with this minion wave. Do they have the damage? Uller Axe, just not a range. They easily step in, secure bird without bull needed. It looks like they're looking for a cheeky gank here. They're not on a ward. Team Haerin, with Bird being down, not willing to step out of Titan Room. So Celtic Banshees, I apologize for the sneeze. Celtic Banshees looking to step in to possibly, if they find a pick, they can finish / end. If not, it should be, the hope would be at least half the Titan. Instead, you find more than enough damage for this Uller immediately going down. And with that and the E-Shell ult, finding this Baron pick, this E-Shell standing on top of this Cthulhu has more than enough damage. The Bracer is dropped. And an easy end for the Celtic Banshees. I did not expect that Uller stepped up and just disappeared on Bacchus flop. That's insane. That damage is crazy. Paul's always made the game look so easy. I mean, guys, I'm sorry, but like this isn't. Nobody's getting close to 20. How this team's drafting and what they're actually going to go for. I hate the Marty pick here. I hate it so much. I love Marty. I used to play Marty when that was meta. I feel like that's going to get absolutely obliterated here. That immobility, if you don't have ult, I'm sorry, you're not going to get out of range of that E-Shell ult. And you're definitely not getting away from a Jing Chen. I'm a little concerned that that god's not going to get to the 3-4 items he's going to need to feel influential. And the pressure from Celtic Banshees is just going to go down, run game down for game number 2. Will Celtic Banshees be able to pull out a clean 2-0 against Team Haerin? Or will Team Haerin look for a reverse sweep? And guess we're here to find out. We've known, Jesse. It's okay. We love you too, dude. Hi, Lizzie. Hi, Jesse. Nah. Hey, girl. Hey, girl. Celtic Banshees already full clearing wave, easily secure purple buff. Starting a little bit of their pressure here. Hi, Nat. Little drama in paradise between Lizzie and Jesse. Jing Chen trying to step up. So look for a possible steal on those minis. Getting poked down. Notable, and we talked about it a little bit, this is 3 beads. Like I said, if this Willix is able to get that alt off to pull you back, you're pretty much just dead given the burst and the E-Shell ult right after. I would like to see the Jing Chen immediately send back, especially in preparation for red. And immediately, I have to point this out. We had beads, however, this Willix E-Shell able to pull this Haerin under tower, the double ult, and immediately blow his head off. Listen, I said it in the beginning of the game, and that's without items. Once items come on, if you're not beads in it, you don't have CC immunity, you're just dead. Team Haerin have to play a little cleaner, recognizing that sitting at tower edge is just not how the beginning of this game needs to be going. Unfortunately, giving up red and purple. Red went to them, but first blood, regardless, 2 Celtic Banshees is not the beginning or the start that you're looking for to try to get this Marty up and running. He did just not react, unfortunately. To be fair, they did just take over to level 5 at that moment, so it was just awkward timing. So first blood being the difference here. I am interested to see how this combo looks. Team Haerin's going to have to be firing on all cylinders to deal with this Willix. I would like to make note of, so Willix has Blink. If Team Haerin is able to find the engage themselves, a possible window of opportunity, assume we are doing it properly with the CC and the silence / ultimates. Just checking leveling here. Aggressive wards already placed by Celtic Banshees right on the blue for Team Haerin. There's the Willix ult. Does Cabrakan get punished once again? Beadsing directly after. He's getting pulled in, Beadsing on the way out. The E-Shell didn't drop ult because he didn't think that was going to be kill potential. Gives them that poke. They're looking for this red buff. I'm a little concerned. Once those items come through, that survivability might not go unpunished. Nice little steal there by Team Haerin. Team Haerin are doing really well as far as zonal damage. This Marty doesn't quite have the itemization yet. I'm assuming he's going to be going. This Jotun's failing out for that 40% cooldown. And I'm assuming Heartseeker Titans, but already putting out a fair amount of damage between him and this Charon for poke. The real question I have is for this all-in, how this is going to look after Cabrakan, who didn't have beads. There's the pull. So Jing Channel into a Willix ult into the E-Shell for damage. We're playing catch. And unfortunately, Cabrakan not enjoying the game. I'd like to point out, in that exchange, not only did you pick the Cabrakan, but you also got beads off of this Marty. Yes, he's going to have ultimate for CC immunity, but if we're able to force the ult, there is immediately a window to pick him as well. Dude, learn how to cast? I'll try to, Bolden. I'll try to be better just for you, man. Sorry, I didn't have a dad to teach me. It was a missed opportunity. There was plenty we could have said there. Purple's up. Banshees looking to secure that farm as well. That one's a good one, Bolden. He did strike out with the ball in T-ball. The ball didn't move, and unfortunate. A swing and a miss. Start swinging. Bada, 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 bada. Hey, bada, bada. Guys, this damage is absolutely insane. He's getting pulled back time and time again. Okay, I have to look. I'm sorry. I have to go back and see this. Okay. We have beads. Where are you beads at? You beads it there. Okay. And that's not a knock. That's just I'm confused on how, unfortunately, getting picked. We're also burning Charon beads. This is so rough. The Jing Chan being the target. Is he able to find it? Yes, he does. But unfortunately, that extension from Light Tunnel on this Marty results in him going down. Is that worth, considering the Haerin finds the kill? Now in a bad situation himself. Yes, they find the pick, but 2 of them go down in the meantime. Or as a result. God, English is hard, Bolden. Where are you from? The US, unfortunately. I do not speak German or Dutch, which would be what that would be, but yeah. Oh, what? Yeah. It's my native language and I suck at it, you know? Unfortunate. Wake up, dude, I'm awake. That's the worst part. I just can't speak English. Hi, Kai. Hi, Lantern. I am not bilingual by any stretch of the imagination. I'm... Much like we discussed, I don't know what you're going to do. You have all ultimates up here. You have no beads. Either one of these guards get pulled in. You don't have second relics. A Willix is lying waiting. It's pretty much just death. They place the sentry so they know they have a window here. Jing Chen has blink in 7 seconds. Might be that initial engage. Try to throw either one of these guardians back. Marty's pulled back in. The damage there. Marty ult is forced. That is 2 ults between the Marty and the Haerin. Unfortunately, now Cabraca in the target of most of that aggression. Ixia ult already down. Do they have the damage to finish off this kill? I'm a little surprised Cabraca actually able to walk out.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
So I can actually hear that I did fix that. You guys heard that too, right? So I'm good on the soundboards now that I fixed it. Sounds good. Perfect. I'm totally entertained. Looks like Paul and this Ixia looking around the same build back with a Soul Reaver, Ob Shard, Soul Gem, Ob Shard, Soul Reaver. Light Tunnel on Marty, trying to find Fail Not. I am a little shocked, however. This might be a triple blink here. Marty going blink himself. That is going to be a big all-in. I'm concerned when you start talking about an all-in, if it gets relicked out or they find that trade, especially on this Marty, that's going to heavily favor the Banshees. Jesus. I might need more caffeine. I ain't gonna lie to you. I have to ask you to lock in. I'm sorry, I'll lock in for your set for sure. I appreciate that, Jesus Snips. Johnson spawning in. This Ixia is level 15 to both of these guards, level 12, just taking over level 13s. That is a 2.5 level lead for Ixia, especially being in Paul's hand. I'm a little scared of that. There is the triple blank. So this is an all-in. I am so concerned this all-in is going to get relicked, followed by an Ixia ult. As Ixia is able to find that trade, Team Haerin's in for a world of hurt. Ixia comes through. Does he have the damage to the range? He does. Able to find the pick. Does he have the follow-up? Beads used. A Willix jumping in, catching the pathing for the Marty. 2 down. A Willix tanking. All 3 go down. And a full deicide. Celtic Banshees running Team Haerin down. to Paul gap. I mean, it's Paul. Yeah, the no anti-heal is a little rough. You're playing into an E-Shell 2 alt or Jingchen. It's going to be a little rough to deal with. However, when you're doing that kind of damage, the healing might not even be super relevant. I'm just concerned this triple blink that we're running, like I said, that is an all-in. You're looking for that initial engage. When you're behind, more often than not, those trades are not going to go in your favor. When you're ahead, sure, those are going to be great. But a little unfortunate as far as some of those relic usage go. We discussed a little bit of that. He has to triple blink on Paul, right? But if he gets a relic off, i.e. Aegis from the initial damage, or has beads alt, I'm not even sure that they actually trade that pick. I think Paul fights through it, which is, especially with no anti-heal, a little rough to say. Especially with the lead that you've now given. This E-Shell is level 17, and the Kabrakan's still struggling to find a level 14. That is a full item up. This is best of 3, so every set we do, because we have 12 sets a week to watch, I'll put the record up here. You see my mouse in center. They're all best of 3s for the league sets, and then how that actually turns into the playoffs. A lot of these teams, or all these teams, are playing for seeding. Week 7 and Week 8 are when the playoff tournaments will be played. Lower Division at Week 7, Upper Division at Week 8 on Saturdays. Of course. Kabrakan knocked up. E-Shell still has ult. Is she going to elect to do it to secure? There it is. Jesus. I'm not sure how you actually find back into that. That burst, that is a Guardian. Supposed to be full tank that is actually getting eviscerated by this damage from the Banshees. The Willix gets a nice little blink. Good knock up onto the Marty, forces it beads. He's in a little bit of an awkward situation now. If he steps up, he doesn't have ult or beads. The hard part is Team Haerin have to find a pick. There's the blink we talked about. There's the double relics I discussed back. Do they have the damage to turn this? A Willock steps in. They find the pick over the wall. That range 1 splitting the uprights and find it onto the Charon. Jing Chen with a double ult for both of them under tower, as Pride and Proc should easily be a double here for Paul. Looking for the triple. Does get Bracken making out with the cooldowns. Unfortunately, Warwick taking the triple from Paul. GG. But Celtic Banshees, a full DSI, 10 seconds on this Charon, and a clean 2-0 staring him in the face. Yeah, that's a little awkward as far as an E-Shell ult. I don't even know how you play into that. I think you just ban it. I could be wrong. I think you just ban it away from ball. Oh, man. The funny part is when we start getting to tournament time, what I'm really interested to see, like I said, is you're going to have teams or players going to be like, hey, we have to ban E-Shell, we have to ban out Paul, quote unquote. We've seen SVL teams try to ban out Paul, and that's just not a thing that ever works. I'm just wondering how they find an answer back in and how that looks. I think it's going to be a draft, possible player diff when it starts getting to tournament time. This is not quite as absurd as game number 1, where he almost had 40k damage. A little closer of a game. Unfortunately, not able to find much of an avenue as these double guards. Unfortunately, relic usage got called into question at the beginning of the game.